2004, and then went to Georgia Tech to study electrical engineering. She's a senior construction superintendent for, I'm sure you've heard of this company, Tesla and Mr. Elon Musk. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the stage, 2004 graduate, all the way from California, Miss Heather McPhee.
Hello, Cypress Bay, class of 2018, congratulations. 14 years ago, I was in your seat, and just this morning my mom was reminiscing and asking me all the details, and I didn't remember any of them, to be honest. But my mom can tell you everything down to the seating chart. So I was considering it, and the ceremony, you know, it's for you guys, and it's a great celebration, but it's also really for the parents, and that was what I considered at the time. And for my parents particularly, I remember feeling it was very well-deserved. They grew up in a place where students and kids weren't expected to graduate from high school and go on to bigger things. For all the wealth and glamour of Weston, this is a city of new money, and it's built on the hard work, the sacrifices, and the successes of parents who dreamt of better lives for their kids. So congratulations, parents, as well. I may not remember the ceremony, but I do remember all of the time leading up to it, particularly all of the adult questions, although what's next? Where are you going to school? Where are you going to study? And all of the adult advice, follow your dreams and take the path less traveled. And I remember nodding and smiling a lot and wondering how adults were so lame. And now, at the undeniably adult age of 30, I have a better idea. We really don't know what we're doing either. So, what can we say to you guys? Good luck winging it? That doesn't exactly convey old wisdom. So instead, we speak in generalities and we deflect it back to you, and it's terribly unfair. It's like asking a goldfish which lake to set it free in. I mean, how are you supposed to know? And how are you supposed to know that you don't know? I graduated from Cypress Bay in 2004, and then I went to Georgia Tech to study electrical engineering. And in 2004, I would have told you that was my plan quite confidently. What I probably wouldn't have told you is that I picked engineering because my favorite teacher's husband was an engineer, and I Googled it, and it said they make a lot of money, and I thought, yeah, I could get on board with that. And then I Googled best engineering schools, and I picked one that was reasonably close, but not so close that my mom could just randomly drop by. And that was about all the thought that went into it, because that was what I was exposed to, and everyone seemed satisfied with that choice, so no one really questioned it. I went off to college, and I got a 34% on my first test. And that was one of the smallest of my failures. But I've never really known my limitations, so I worked harder, and I found some things I was good at. And after a few years, I realized that I really didn't want to be an engineer, and I was just in too deep, and I had to get out. So I looked at the light at the end of the tunnel, realized the only way out was through, and I finished the degree and told myself I was not going to be an engineer. I applied to a lot of non-engineering jobs, and I applied to one engineering job as a backup, and of course it's always good to have a backup because that's where I ended up. And a few months later, I was on a drilling rig in Louisiana. I spent 6 years on drilling rigs and frac pads. I saw the northern lights from up an ice road in Alberta. I drank vodka at a bus stop in Siberia. I ate hedgehog in Equatorial Guinea. I got lost in the capital of Chad. I've worked in 12 states and 4 countries, a few of which I'd still have trouble pointing out on a map, and none of which I ever planned for. Then Tesla called and pulled me into one of the largest construction projects in the world. For those of you who are still listening between using the puppy filter on Snapchat, here's the moral of the story. There are really only 4 ways that this could really go badly. Hopefully your parents have covered the sex, drugs, and alcohol parts. but student loans are the most likely thing to derail the next 20 years of your life. Don't become a slave to debt. It narrows your options, it limits your adventures. Just say no to student loans. For those of you who aren't planning to go to college next year, starting today, you have a 4-year head start on your peers, so make the most of it. Start a business, learn a skilled trade, volunteer. In my career, I've worked alongside people much more successful and more interesting than myself who didn't subscribe to the college and career life model. Beyond that, all of the adult advice holds. You won't go wrong with a foundation of hard work and open-mindedness. Everything you do, commit to doing it as best you can, because excellence is a habit and it's transferable. Don't shy away from challenges and always bounce back from failures. Let your morals set your limits and just say yes to everything else. Now is the time to embrace what you don't know and be open to whatever gets thrown your way, because I know that all of the most interesting experiences in my life have come in spite of my best laid plans. Congratulations, graduates. Whatever your plans may be, have fun winging it.